Okay, so this is going back to the garden design now. Put most of the stuff in. I inserted this sewer drain. I'll just quickly show you how I did it. I'd previously gone to that site and actually taken some other measurements, and I put the drain there. Again, I've done really bad writing, so I've got a couple of measurements here. I don't know what does what. 430, that actually is from the back wall to the fence, and I think it's a 3 and a 6.5 meters. So what I've done is I've gone from the edge of the house 3 meters out, and from the edge of this wall 6.5, and where they dissect, which is those two there, I've put a circle and a radius. In this corner here we're going to put a raised garden bed, and we're just trying to think how to make that work without creating a little compromised section of lawn there. But I'll show you what I was going to do. I'm going to draw a raster image. If you have this, see what else there is. Raster images, cotton patterns. That's not it. I don't know what that is. Let's go down. Choose any cotton sheeting. Good image. I actually do have something that I've done. I don't have it in my system, but that'll do as an example for now. Insert. Okay. And what I think I'm going to do, I might reduce this path here. I've got 1200, but I don't think it needs to be 1200. But what we can do as well, we can dimensions in here. Just get a measurement from here to here. I've got 4380. If I get calculator, I like to use the golden mean to help guide my drawings sometimes, my designs. I think it works. It's very interesting how it works. Sometimes it does some quirky things and to seem to work, and they actually do look more natural to the eye, and it's just a better way than being symmetrical or going for a halfway point, or you can go a third, or you can go a quarter, but this just always seems to sit very well in a very natural way most of the time. So for instance here, I want to work out what a good width of this path would be, and otherwise we're just choosing arbitrarily. Is it 1200? 800 is a good door size usually, so you can have an 800 path. Typically in new homes, for warranty purpose, they want a metre wide. Part of the CSIRO bulletin and the VBA protection for foundations, and National Construction Authority explain it in their protecting foundations in their booklet. But anyway, that's another story. But as for design wise, I sort of just, I think this works not too bad sometimes. So all we do is go 4380 and divide it by the irrational number, which is the golden mean. So it's 1.618 equals 2707. Now what do you do with that? Well, in this case, that's the larger side of the number. So if we go 4380 and we minus the 2707, we get 1.6783, which is way too wide a garden bed. But I propose to actually divide that again by the 1.618, and you get 1033. So it's close to a metre anyway. And if we go 4380 and we minus the 2707, we get 1.6783, which is way too wide a garden bed. But I propose to actually divide that again by the 1.618, and you get 1033. So it's close to a metre anyway. And if we go 4380 and we minus the 2707, we get 1.6783. So it's close to a metre anyway. out of curiosity, if we go 2707 divided by 1.618, we get 1673, which is the same amount that was remainder of the 4380 after dividing it by 2707, which is kind of interesting. That's the kind of things it does. So I think we're just going to stick with the 1033, but we're just going to make it 1050, I reckon. So if I go this one, copy, I go 1050, I'll delete this one, and then here, how do we solve the problem of the lawn coming in here? If we continue this straight, so if I go straight through, we get a sort of weird bit of lawn which you don't really want. So we can, even if we extend that, when we lose the curve, we're always going to get this weird patch of lawn. We don't want that because it's just hard to manage for people, really. One way you could do it, so I just like a lot of drawing, a lot of much more better visually, so I'd like to draw a lot of markers, so I might just randomly chuck that there, and then maybe if I go from there, we measure to there. Oh, that's not what I want. We want to get angled, aligned, I should say. So that's 2412. Seems like a big garden bed, but I think it's pretty big. What is it across here? 4526. It's a small yard. It's a big garden bed, but I think it's worth having there. It's a bit of a feature centerpiece. The time you put a main small tree there, an underplanting, I think it makes a lot of sense. So let's see again, if we go aligned and we look at this, what's the depth of it? 3. It's not too big really if you think of it that way, and you've got your center tree here and it's got a 3 meter sort of canopy. I think it makes a lot of sense, so I think I'm going to keep it that size. And so what I was going to do here, so if we go 2412 divided by 1.618 equals, and then we got that, so we clear, then we get the 2412 and divide, not divide it, 2412 minus the 1618, we've got 794. So what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to go out from here, 794, we'll go that way, and there's our start point there. That's where I want to start it. Is it the right thing to do? We can do is draw arc 3 points, and we'll start there, and we'll just grab it in the middle and just twist it in a smidge. Let's see, we're going to get that same thing. We've really got to come in a bit more like a 90 degrees. Might be is that better to have that all concrete, and you can walk up to this garden bed. We'll have like a little wall like that, and the other half here that'll be in the garden, so there'll be grass up against that half. And I actually think if we go, it'd be better. This will give you an example of why this number works. This irrational number. So I've used it, but I've used the smaller division, and not the longer division. When I say division, I mean like the larger number that was come out of that division. And then or then I've tried the half, so it comes in 45. But I think you got to play with it a little bit. I think this 1490 will actually work better. So if I go draw a line, enter, go there, then we go draw arc 3 points, and we start on this intersection. But maybe we don't want it that way either. We want to have more. But that should be enough to still get it. So we'll move that. Erase all that. Erase. Erase. And I think that looks pretty good. So this would be lawn, and this will be a tree, and this will be all exposed aggregate. And as you come around the corner, you don't get with a little small bit of mowing, and I think that gives it a really nice spot to finish. For some reason, that whenever I use that golden mean, it just seems to just work a lot of the time. Not always, but a lot of the time. And I think the reason you find it works too is that all classical building is built around those ratios, like where windows and doors fit into buildings. They always sit about that level, and the sizings usually work like that. So a lot of things from a long time, over time, have always been sized that way. So they tend to work and fit in funny places. They just seem to sit well, those measurements. So I'm going to continue this down here. This path is going to continue all the way down to the end of that. We've got a shed to do. And if I show you this shed, this one here, that's not it. This one here, there's a shed here. I don't know what I've written here. .5, who knows? Oh, we've got 4 by 2.5 meters he wants the shed to be. So it's mostly going to be a concrete base. Draw a line, so 4, I think 2.5 will be this way. 2.5. Oh, it's not coming out. We don't want that, that's why I've written it wrong. I've got 2.5, 2.5 millimeters. Alright, let's do it right again. Draw a line. Snap into the corner. 2500, not 2.5. That's better. And then this way he wants about 4 meters. Oh, I've done something. I've written 400. Okay. Delete that. Erase. Draw a line. There it is there. If I can't see it, if it's on top of the other previous line, you can select it and draw a line, and because you can see it, you can snap onto the end of it just here. Or maybe not. So it looks like it's underneath it on top. If we go tools, draw order and bring to front, will that make a difference? No, I don't think so. Let's try something. Draw a line. No, it's not snapping onto it for some reason. A bit annoying. Is there a reason? It might be something in the drawing if we go to, oh no, it's not snap override. Snap overrides. Yeah, see, I'm not sure if anything, because I have them all on, I'm not sure if any of those actually have anything to do with conflicting each other. But I just generally leave them on in this case. I'm not sure what you can do here. I think if I just select that, start again. Right, click erase. I'm going to draw line and go out again. What do we have? We had 2500, and then we went this way 4000, and then obviously back this way 2500. And something I noticed about this program, and I think it's not the program, it's my computer, uses a lot of memory, and my memory's not great at the moment. In this, I upgraded the RAM, but I just can't get the matching RAM, and it's a bit old, this computer, so I do have a lot of other things running in the background too, so that's part of it. But what I'd like to do now is just save where I'm at, and hopefully that's saved. I'll keep working, but you can see what's happened here is I've selected this, and then I've gone to object snap the corner, but nothing comes up, so I can't actually move the end. So it means, usually that means it's starting to lose its mind. If we go, I'm going to Control Alt Delete, let's have a look, and then we go to Task Manager, and we just look at what's using all the memory, and we can see Google Chrome, this big pig. It's got 1137 meg, and we're using GCAD Plus, it's using 34.8 meg, so it's really not using much. OBS Studio, which is what I'm recording on now, that's using 123 megs, so it's not too much, and it's doing a lot of work, I guess. But Chrome's really using up every little bit. But I've got like about, it says 22, I think it's 22 pages open, and 4 of them are YouTube paused videos, so yeah, that's probably why. But you can tell it's starting to head out. But let's see what else we can do in the meantime. That's his shed size. I'm not sure. I think the reason the shed size is that is because when you're doing sheds outside, or at least in Victoria, you're limited to building a shed to under about 10.5 square meters. Beyond that, you need a permit for it, a building permit. So you can build a shed up to 10.5 square meters without a permit. So we're trying to keep it to that. So if we go to Tools and Area, we just double check that was our measurements to see that we're in the, and what have we got down there? We've got 10,000, so we're right on it. We could increase that. We could. How do we get extra half a meter across 4 meters there, or half a square meter across there? So if that's 4 meters, if we went across 100 mil, we get 400 mil. If we went, so we could come out an extra 100 mil, or if there's 2.5 meters, it might be able to go that way a little bit longer. It depends on how big you want to shed. So if I went 200 mil that way, I'm going to get half a meter. If I went 1, I'm going to get 400. I suppose it depends how big you want to have your, how much wider your shed to be. I reckon probably go this way. I'd actually sneak it out an extra 200 mil. I would just say it's 11, close enough for me. And plus you might have 100 mil around the outside. So I reckon you could probably go, I think we go 100 mil this way, copy that, and we move it up, and we just type in 100, enter, and this one here we're going to go, I'm going to go 300 mil, because 100 on the back and 200 the other way, so 300, and that's would be what you'd want to do, I reckon. See, and then as again, like I can't select the end of that, so this is on its way out at the moment. It'll crash at some point, so I can't really add anything like that. We have some steps to do here, and we'll draw that in, draw a line. So this is quite a right. This side. This house is really high on this side, so we actually got to do a formed up concrete step with steps coming down into it. I'm guessing there should be two treads or 3 treads including the top. Maybe you drop 150 each one, so at least probably 450 down. It could be even more than that, because 450 in my mind seems a bit even still not quite enough. And there'll be another step here too, because this, I was going to say we should sort of retain this off here, because the land drops away quite fast just here, and this is all quite low when this fence side down here is quite low, so I'd probably create a step down here, and maybe I'll have this whole area sunken and this will sink lower too, and then this will all be flat here coming around matching that height, and it'll just be a single step there. And that means I also have to have a landing here, I think, because this door is quite high. So I'll draw that in, because this is really just the first proposal. So I'm going to do, because I can't really do much with the way it's working, I'm going to press pause. I'm going to save this, I'm going to close it, and then reboot it and see if it clears some memory, etc, etc. Clear some memory out of Google Chrome. So stop recording and I'll be back.